All right, platoon, fall in. It's the Joe and the Jarhead Show. Back in the original set.
Back again.
Ah, I love it.
I wanted you to sing the song. Up, back again.
No, please don't.
Come on, man.
No.
I set you up perfectly right there, man. Come on.
You did, and I spiked that ball straight into the ground, and I will do it again. My producer and I spent a bunch of time this weekend getting it kind of finished out. We're not quite done yet, but it's a lot better, and it's better enough that we can be back here, not having to inconvenience Jarhead and his family.
Let's be honest, you're always inconveniencing me. So
Said the guy who's sitting at my house filming the show. Okay, cool. All right.
we're used to it.
What do we got today, dude?
So let's talk about, oh man, we got quite a few headlines today. So Hurricane Barry got depressed a little bit. That's kind of fun. Manhattan is also depressed right now. They went through a little bit of a blackout. That's kind of funny.
Aw.
And then there's a lot of aliens coming and taking over our show.
Yeah.
From history, from Area 51. And the Marines and the Army are about to talk about something cool that the Coast Guard did.
Whoa. We might have to save that one for a later episode. I'm not sure I'm entirely ready to do that.
Oh, we got to prep ourselves for that one.
Oh.
Before we get into that, well, and then there's Amazon Prime, some nonsense going on there too.
Some history.
Yes, let's do some history.
I like it. So this is a less cool this week in history. So this week in history in 1798, the Alien and Sedition Act was passed.
Wasn't that by Thomas Jefferson?
That was by Alexander Hamilton. It was fought tooth and nail by Thomas Jefferson, who came up with something even worse. Yeah. So the Alien and Sedition Act was a massive breach of the Constitution. So what it said was it extended the time an immigrant needed to reside here before becoming a citizen from 5 years to 14.
Jeez.
It gave the President of the United States unilateral power to deport anyone he deemed a threat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it allowed for prosecution of anyone writing or speaking anything against the federal government.
Could you imagine if that was around today?
Right?
We would not be America, that's for sure.
No, we would not. No, we would not. That was, it was challenged because it was a blatant, outright violation of the First Amendment.
How in the garbage you get something like that to pass? I mean,
what's even stranger to me is that it was written by Alexander freaking Hamilton. He wrote the Federalist Papers. He gave the pitch to Americans for independence and individual liberty.
What happened?
And now I don't know, dude.
So but it did pass. I mean, back then it did have to pass through Congress, right? It wasn't just like an executive order.
Yeah.
Like we're doing today with everything.
Exactly.
How? Who? What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a different world back then, brother. Because you got to think, like, this is 9 years since the revolution ended.
Yeah.
Right. We're still a baby country. The Constitution has just passed, barely. Right.
So what'd they do?
So we're still kind of.
It's not around today.
So it's not.
Who went on that?
It just kind of never really got exercised.
So is there no law out there repealing this or knife handing this and right in two? Is it still around?
It's really not. It got shut down.
Okay.
But it was countered by Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Declaration of Independence, with the Virginia and Kentucky resolves, which were far and away worse. They argued that the states, if they felt a federal law was unconstitutional, they could nullify it, state by state.
Oh, wow.
Which is, unfortunately, exactly what the slave states used as a bulwark against federal anti-slavery laws.
No kidding.
Yeah, that pretty much guaranteed the Civil War. It gave them an opt-out. Yeah.
Huh.
So what of this is the founding fathers knew what the heck they were doing. They did amazing things, but ultimately they were still human, just like we are. They're still fallible, just like we are. And they could make bad decisions, just like we can.
Okay, shall we move on?
Let's move on. What do you got?
Let's talk about Amazon Prime. Because
Prime Day.
Yeah, it has started. So lock up your bank accounts, hide your debit cards, because it's about to steal all of your money. I don't know if it happens to you. It happens to me every year. I say, no, don't do it. And still, I don't, it takes over. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't, dude.
It's like you got to block the website and then hide in your room, turn off the lights, put the pillow over your head.
Yeah. There's nothing on Amazon that I want right now. Mainly because I gave them all my money before Prime Day, too. I bought everything I need. I have everything I need.
You couldn't control yourself before Prime Day is what happened. All right, so what's going on is that there's a Amazon plant down in Minnesota somewhere, and the workers are staging a protest because, as they say, that Amazon has some unrealistic expectations.
Do tell.
So they demand too much of them with working hours, the workload that they're supposed to do, but they don't want to protest the pay that they're getting because they're getting more than double the minimum wage. These guys are getting a minimum of $16 an hour over there. So, to me, yeah, you're making more than minimum wage. You're choosing to work there. Welcome to America. You can choose where you work. And you're crying about unrealistic expectations. I don't care what they're asking of you. You're making good money. You don't want to work there? Go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd like to see the little circle on the back of your head where someone's pressing a gun to keep you there.
Yeah, not happening. So it's a mess. So these jokers. I wish we'd go back to the days of Ronald Reagan where he said either you're going back to work or you're out of a job. When all the airline workers were protesting, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's what needs to happen. Amazon needs to step up and say you guys are coming to work or you're out of a job, because to me this is ridiculous.
I'm guaranteeing if I was some like 17, 18-year-old kid again, and you're offering me that much money, not a problem.
Right?
Not a problem. I'll do it.
I'll work in a tutu.
Yeah, he doesn't want to work there, doing stuff for money. I'll do it.
Sign me up. Work hard. That is the American dream, to work hard and earn it, not to get freebies.
I'm just saying. I've had privates with me, run towards bullets for less than that. What, you're working in a warehouse?
Right.
Just saying.
Packing boxes. All right, enough of you turds. Let's talk about some fun turds. Area 51.
Oh,
this is so
my
fun.
gosh, this has exploded.
I kind of want to go just to be like, get a camping chair and a little canopy and watch these people.
I'm thinking that is the overwhelming majority of this. So someone started a Facebook event where people are going to gather together and storm Area 51.
You can't make this up.
So far, over 1 million people are interested in going, and over 860,000 as of last night have committed to going. Like, I don't know, but they're convinced. The tagline of the event is "They can't stop all of us." First of all, yes, they can.
Don't tell them that. Go ahead and try.
Oh my gosh!
I want to see them try.
Like, I have been on the delivering end of the United States Air Force, and it's pretty darn impressive. I would not want to be on the receiving end.
Hang on, did an Army guy just use impressive and Air Force in the same sentence?
I didn't say they're impressive as ground troops, but man, what they are good at, they are very, very good at. They can make whole terrain features go away. They can make whole villages go away. And you think that, friggin' 860,000 basement-dwelling Warcraft nerds are going to get into Area 51?
Right.
It's not happening, folks. And honestly, that's what I think. I think most of those people that are going to watch like the 60 hardcore stalwarts who actually think this is a thing get friggin' slammed, handcuffed, and arrested.
Roasted and toasted.
Absolutely.
So I think, we got to show up because, it's going to be a huge gathering. Even if half that many people show up.
Right.
We could start selling like alien water bottles or something. I don't know. Paint little green people on there.
Yeah, the problem that they haven't realized yet is that it's Nevada. It's about an hour out of Las Vegas. And in September, your ambient temperature is going to be well over 100 degrees. And it's the middle of freaking nowhere. So let's say that 860,000 of you show up. The local towns can support like 50 people. I'm not entirely sure where you're going to get water or like bathrooms.
Y'all don't know how to camp, except in your mom's basement.
I'm saying. But by all means, do it.
Yeah, I'll be there watching.
There's some bored guards out there at Area 51 being like, I've worked out here my whole career and I've never gotten to shoot anyone.
Don't encourage that. Happy trigger finger. All right.
What do you got?
That was fun.
That was fun.
Okay. All right, Barry down south. So Hurricane Barry got a little depressed. He's no longer a hurricane.
Oh,
He's not even like a tropical storm. He's like a tropical depression, which is just depressing.
that's
Why is
pretty. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, poor tropical name. Come up with something better. Tropical Hiya!
Right?
Tropical Jiu-Jitsu or something.
I mean, that's really sad.
It really is. I mean, there's still heavy rains, still flooding going on.
All Barry's doing is depressing people down south,
I see what you did there.
which is interesting because Barry got elected the second time because of a hurricane
Yeah.
down south that got everyone fired up.
Talking about the Barack type, Barry.
Yes.
So,
Barry Soetoro.
yeah. So the only thing to mention here is that there is a hurricane still tearing through the south states down there. You know, it's tearing up through Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana. So there's still heavy rain, still flooding. So if you got people down there, pray for them.
Absolutely, yes.
But the reason I wanted to mention this is because when I heard that there's another hurricane heading towards New Orleans, I got a little bit fired up.
yeah,
Katrina 2005, remember that?
I remember that very well. I was in Iraq, and we had the Louisiana National Guard there, and those jokers were going out of their minds because they're getting ready to go home, and now they have no home to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those dudes were, you want to talk about depressed.
Yeah, I lost a couple of them, didn't you?
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so with this, because Hurricane Katrina back in 2005 was pretty bad. It tore up a lot of deaths, tore up the town. I mean, it's still not back. There are entire towns there in New Orleans that are just,
Yeah.
what do you want to call it, ghost
Wasted,
towns?
yeah, they're done.
Gone. But what also pisses me off about this is that people there did not take care of themselves. They simply quit, went to the refugee centers, and just laid down, waited for the federal government to come over and spoon feed them with a silver spoon.
Right.
It was a maddening time for me, and George
Yep.
Bush made a lot of bad decisions there.
Yes, he did.
FEMA did, but so that's why I got a little mad because I didn't want this to be another Katrina, but it looks like it's just a depressing moment now. So that's all we got to talk about Barry down south.
Oh boy.
Now we're talk about something awesome.
I don't know if I can do it, dude.
It's the Coast Guard. They did something
Oh.
so cool.
So as a Marine and a soldier respectively, the one thing that all four branches of the military can agree on is that the Coast Guard is not a branch of the military.
Truth.
They used to be Department of Transportation
Yes, they did.
before they got moved under Homeland Security. So there's nothing that a soldier and a Marine can agree on as much as the Coast Guard are pansies. Except they're not anymore.
Not after this, you're not.
Oh my gosh! So over the weekend, a video came out of the Coast Guard pulling over. They pulled over a drug submarine, and like these dudes are jumping the side of their ship onto a moving submarine, forcing the hatch open and arresting the dudes inside.
It was so crazy.
It was
cool.
the coolest thing I've ever seen.
This clip is wicked awesome.
I look it up. Like Coast Guard board submarine. It is so cool.
Not very often am I jealous of the Coast Guard.
I really
Man, that was
am.
cool.
You guys are awesome. So like, okay, that particular boat crew, I'm willing to admit, is a functional branch of the United States military. Wow. The rest of y'all still are weirdos, but those guys, they're cool.
The Coast Guard is going to create a national holiday after this
I'm
event. right
sure
now,
they are,
right?
Coast Guard Day. But it turns out this sub was carrying 17,000 pounds of cocaine worth $232 million.
Wow, are you serious?
Right?
Whoa.
And it was part of a larger operation that was operating off the coast of Mexico, Central and South America, that netted 39,000 pounds of cocaine, half a ton of marijuana,
Wow,
for over $500 million worth
where were they?
in a weekend.
Gosh dang. No wonder they can finance a submarine.
Right?
Jeez. Where was it going?
The bottom of the ocean.
It's a good place for it.
See, therein lies the difference between the Coast Guard and the other branches of the military, because they pull these dudes over and arrest them. They're essentially law enforcement on the water. If a Marine or a soldier had boarded the sub, forced the hatch open, just start dropping grenades.
All right.
I'm not interested in arresting. I'm interested in making sure that thing stays on the bottom of the ocean.
Wouldn't even taken time to pull it over. It'd been target practice.
Yeah.
What size of round do we need to pierce that submarine skin right now?
From what it looked like, probably a handgun. That was not like an exceptionally. I mean, this isn't exactly the Nautilus.
A cardboard type submarine. I believe it. Well, bottom of the sea, right where you belong. All right.
What do you got?
Next is the Manhattan Blackout.
Oh, yes.
So it happened on Saturday the 13th for about 5 hours. So all your subways, your skyscrapers, and even poor old Broadway was blacked out for about 5 hours. So that's about 73,000 people, which is, in a very congested point there in Manhattan. So, but what's cool about this is it happened to the day, almost to the hour of the 1977 blackout.
Really?
42 years later, yeah. And everything was the same. Blackout happened. People said, oh, this is a time for free stuff. I'll just got to break this window, go into this building, take whatever I want.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start a couple things on fire. Because that's apparently what you do in a blackout in New York. You don't call up your friends and make sure everybody's okay. You don't go to your neighbor's house, make sure that they still got warm water or good food to keep them going. How about your elderly patients, elderly neighbors who are maybe on oxygen, don't have power or something?
Yeah.
You don't want to go check on them. You said you want to go looting, tear up your town. It's despicable, disgusting.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it really is. And
That's
I think
pretty bad.
when you do a crime like this, when during a blackout, there's got to be a higher crime, I think. Just deport these guys. Open up the Sedition Act, right?
No.
Kick them out.
No, that's replacing something bad with something worse. We just talked about this.
I don't know. These guys, they don't deserve to be there. So, yeah, there was a lot of looting and arson, as there was back in 1977. Same thing. So, but it was nothing. I was hoping it was the hand of God that come down and struck these people.
I'm just saying,
never come back.
We have solid evidence that China, at least, is working on EMP technology. So I would not want to be in Manhattan when the power goes out on the entire eastern seaboard and never comes back on.
Right. I wouldn't want to be on anywhere, either side of the coasts.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the kind of thing that happens when it's out for 5 hours, 4 hours, something like that.
Right.
And that's their first go-to instinct. Okay. I'm glad we live in frickin' Potataville, Idaho.
Stay out of Idaho. You can keep it. So they claim it was just a fire that ticked off a transformer, an underground transformer, and blew up, and so that's what caused the power outage.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Agreed.
What now?
I'm good, brother.
Oh, that's our show.
That is our show.
That was a dang good show.
That was a fast show. I like it.
That's how we do. You got all of your news in less than 30 minutes. Send all the love you got. So all we're asking is for a shout out on any social media. Talk to your friends about us, anything.
Share our Instagram, share our Facebook.
I think the trend these days is people don't want to watch the news because it's too depressing, so they just turn their back on it. That's not the right answer. We can't afford to live in a society where too many people are turning their back on what's going on in the world.
Correct.
Enter Joe in the Jarhead.
Yep.
We got you.
Yep.
We're veterans. We're good at it.
Agreed.
Hoorah!
That's going to do it?
That's going to do it.
All right. Thank you all for turning in. Platoon dismissed.
Semper Fi.